I like to get an exhaust.
So what Nanef did originally was running the wheeljack parts. The exhaust kit's just made of different combinations of the various wheeljack parts. So he just did, specific colors for that, like the blue wings, in limited numbers, just as kind of like a preview or kind of a test run of that.
Yeah.
He was saying that pending getting a copy of the toy in hand, he doesn't think he's going to need to change anything to the kit, so that should be an easy thing to rerun a little bit later. I also got, in the same order, the rerun upgrades for Hound. So this is a pistol and the missile for the shoulder piece.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's $220 with free shipping.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Because now that I've got the Thunderclash from that mold, I kind of want that Overlord to go with him, but I've spent a fair amount of money recently. So
that Overlord is so not I love him. I
know that's. See, I wasn't going to get him because I wasn't planning on getting that mold at all because I don't like the Prime.
Yeah, the Prime's not. It's okay. It's not great.
Yeah, but there's with everything we got coming out. Plus I placed a pre-order that I probably shouldn't have, but I did. So,
G.I. Joe scaled Xeon soldiers?
No.
No, that would have been me if I was spending stupid money.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I guess we know what kind of week Rob had.
Yeah,
I did not.
I decided to place a pre-order for the 5 animation accurate Sailor Scouts.
Oh, okay.
I kind of figured that was coming eventually.
Because they look so good in those animation colors. And it's just subtle differences.
Are these body pillows?
And they just really look nice. So I'm probably going to sell my original set and just keep the animation.
Are these like mouse pads? I'm being diecast right now. I'm sorry.
Hey, Brian, when you were...
the shirt goes, Brian, if you can be anybody you want, be yourself. But if you can be Batman, be Batman.
Yes.
The other shirt is don't be diecast.
Yeah. Go ahead, diecast.
That's not true.
That's the other shirt.
I mean, in very, very specific, limited contexts, sometimes I think I would like to be diecast, mostly with, the credit limit and the, wife who doesn't seem to care.
I'm sure she cares. It's just a very silent resentment.
I can live with that. I can live with that if I have somebody to go get sushi with. I mean, that's pretty much all I want.
I'll send Massey. You and him can go.
Diecast, what did you need?
I was going to ask, when you were 3D printing, what filament were you using? Were you using PLA or ABS or PLA?
Both, depending on what I needed to do.
I mean, ABS it seems like it can warp a little bit, and you need to, they recommended an enclosure for ABS, from what I've been reading.
I have no idea as far as an enclosure goes. I would use either. Honestly, I would use whatever I had. So it's not. I would have a spool of PLA. Sometimes I'd have a spool of ABS. My printer wouldn't print anything but those.
Okay.
But ABS is typically what I used. But if I had PLA and it was a color I needed or wanted to use. Have you already got your printer?
No, it was supposed to be here today, and it kept saying, UPS has not picked this item up yet.
Oh.
And it finally got picked up today, and now it's estimated for the 14th.
Did you get Slicer?
Did I get what?
Slicer.
What's that?
The software I told you to download and install and familiarize yourself with.
Oh, no. No, I didn't.
I was thinking they already repainted the wheeljack into Slicer already.
Yeah, so what slicing software are you going to use?
I haven't used any software yet.
So get Slicer and just familiarize yourself with it.
Okay.
So basically what it does, think in terms of this. So when you print something on a printer spool, like when you print to like a standard Windows printer,
Yeah.
they all basically work the same. So you print and it goes to the printer spool, and any type of God, this is probably not people who are really network and techie are like, no, that's not how it works. But basically, it goes there, it gets run the driver, whatever connects, whatever. But basically, it's a standard Windows driver that it can print anything. The printer knows what to do. A 3D printer, it's the Wild West. So basically, there's not. There's standard commands and stuff, but it's just there's so much variation and there's no standardization when it comes to how everything works, print speed, how the motors step, which motors, whatever. So what the slicer does is you tell it which printer you're using, or you put in the specifications of the printer. And you put in the specifications of what you are using, Twain driver, thank you. And you put in what specifications of the filament that you're using, and then it creates a G-code file that is what your printer will take and print. But it's basically like a bespoke. So if a Word document is a Word document is a Word document, you print it and it works. A G-code file is like a bespoke Word doc that's only going to print on your printer. So, eventually in the future, when there's more standardization, you might not even need to, certain printers can print straight from the STL files, but most of them don't.
Yeah, I think my printer does. Print from whatever file extension it is on the end. It might be STL. And then I can manually change all the settings on the printer for whatever filament I'm using, as far as heat on the nozzle and at the bed. So I can do all that stuff through the printer.
Well, but it's not. Yeah, you tell it what you're doing, what you do, but you still have to have the G-code file to execute on the specific print. So it has to match up. So it'd probably still work if you told you had ABS on the printer and the G-code thought it was PLA, because they meld the same temperature and everything. You'd probably, as long as you had a good raft or something, you'd probably be okay.
That's where you're confusing me on the temperature settings, because isn't that controlled at the printer itself?
So yes and no. If you go to print your doc item, and you tell it that it's on PLA, and you tell it what temperature to print, it'll override whatever. It should override whatever's in your printer.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I would manually dial.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You would print it. You'd put it in the slicer, because the file doesn't give a crap how you have your printer set up as far as like your manual settings and all that. I mean, your printer probably can. I don't know if your printer can override it or not, but it's basically there is no necessary standardization. So the G-code file is everything. It's how thick your layers are, it's the temperature, it's the filament type, it's all of that. It's all the instructions. It's the DNA. It's not just the DNA, it's the DNA, it's the nutrition, it's your protein, it's all that. The protein's the filament. But it's the DNA that tells tells the printer how to make a body. So yeah, my printer, I can tell it whatever temperature, but I run the G-code through it to print. It ignores all that and it prints what the G-code tells it to do. And if you set the G-code to 0, it's not going to print.
Okay.
Yeah, so forget everything your printer says it does and focus on the slicer. because the slicer is how 3D printing works.
Okay. I just haven't heard anything about the slicer from the videos I've been watching, and
that's why they're useless. And that's why you need to. That's why this is the Samsung Galaxy S3 thing.
You sat through years of Minecraft talk. We can sit through this. Don't worry about it.
No, I'm not willing to grant equivalence to that because the Minecraft stuff is actually interesting.
Yeah. The video, if the videos you've watched haven't mentioned the slicing, you've watched the wrong videos.
Podcast, have you watched videos?
I have watched videos.
Oh, well, then you watched the wrong ones, apparently.
Yeah, well,
because Brian says so.
It all goes together. Think of it this way. The slicing is the software you're running. It's more like software than anything else. Your printer is the hardware and the operating system, but the slicer tells it what to do.
Oh, Don has the most pertinent question here.
What is it, Don?
Do early 3D printers sound like dot matrix printers?
Yeah, they do pretty much.
I approved that. I missed that sound.
Yeah.
Much of the same way I missed the sound of like a dial-up modem. But I'm weird like that.
I was thinking of the Futurama episode where early holograms were all black and white. So that made me just think of that.
Yeah, but just diecast.
Futurama was better than it had any right to be.
I've owned multiple printers and I've had 3D printers for 6 or 7 years. This is, something that I do have some experience with. So it's not fun and it's not easy. It's a hobby. It's like Transformers.
That's a pretty awful hobby the way you
It is a pretty awful hobby.
Can we just montage to the point where we just, where we have all this stuff set up, like do like an 80s montage, and it's like 20 years in the future, and you just click a file and you have a magic action figure?
I wish.
This is why whenever somebody says, "Oh, can you 3D print this for me?" my answer is invariably no.
No,
that's fair.
Yeah, it's like, hey, can you print Swerve's bar for me? Well, it'll take me 2 weeks. Yeah, it'll take me 2 weeks. It'll fail. Like 5 or 6 things will fail, and I'll have to babysit it. So, hourly rate, that'll be $2,000.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why I never asked you to 3D print me a Stargate.
Well, now, Chris, if you can find that Best Locks set, there's a Stargate from the Best Locks company. Oh, you've already got one, so okay. Yeah, good. That's nice. I'm going to step away for a minute. Yeah, I'll be right back.
What I want from that Best Lock line, though, is the Daedalus that they did, which apparently only came out in Canada.
I didn't even know they did anything that big. The only thing I saw was at local Big Lots.
Yeah, okay. I don't think the Daedalus is like huge, but it is a little bit bigger kit. There is also an SGC Gate Room set I've seen pictures of, which again I think only came out in Canada. All that stuff now, though, if you can find it for sale, is absurdly expensive for being knockoff Legos.
Yeah, I've run into that. Believe it or not, there was a line of really great Code Lyoko sets that was only released.
Somehow I knew it was going to be Code Lyoko, Don.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying it's a good parallel because these are really
it's a good show.
It is. Plus, there's also show accurate costumes both in the real world and Lyoko, and some really great sets. And the only ones I've seen are out of Russia for about $60 a set plus shipping.
Wow.
So yeah, I know what you're going through there. I'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
For me too, it's kind of just like something of a dearth of Stargate merchandise in general. Like there was an action figure line that I guess it was Diamond Select that was running it. I don't remember exactly, but like it wasn't really what I was looking for though, because it was 6-inch scale figures with few accessories, and then they just kind of did like build a Stargate sets with them, but it was not. None of it was right, and it was all pretty expensive. The Bestlock Stargate set itself kind of fit the role I was more looking for. It's just, it's small. It's exactly what it's trying to be. It's not great. It's a Bestlock kit, but it gets the job done, basically. Yeah, Blade Runner, that or Kim Possible.
Hey, Diecast.
Yes.
So, going back to 3D printer, in your IT education, did you ever have to learn how to program a programmable logic controller? It's a pretty standard thing that you learn in certain IT fields. Did you have to learn how to do that?
Oh, what computer? I'm sorry.
A programmable logic controller, PLC.
Programmable logic controller for.
Did your
maybe we can just take that as a no.
Okay. So I was gonna say I took a PLC programming class back in the mid 2000s, and it was incredibly helpful for me to understand how these stupid 3D printer things work. It's probably worth learning just the basics of that. You can do it. You can do it in half an hour.
Don,
Yes.
did I black out during you talking about it, or is that Enterprise on the stack behind you new this week?
Oh no, no, that's actually I found in a box. That's the Art Asylum Enterprise A. Yeah, I
Nice.
found it.
Oh, I forgot they did those. I got those as gifts for people. I think I gave Triplet one years ago.
Yeah, I'm going through my room, my collector's room, and I'm pulling out a lot of stuff that I forgot that I had, and that was one of them. So that'll be going on the eBay chopping block here next time I get some time off, and I like it. It's just I have enough versions of the Enterprise, and I really don't need it. And
Makes sense. I mean, it's not like it's an Excelsior.
well, if it was, I'd have to give it away.
In that case, I would take it.
Yeah. No, I mean, Art Asylum, they did a really good job on those Enterprises, and I like the look of the A. It's just I have a lot of Star Trek ships, and I have enough representations between the Eagle Malls and the Hot Wheels. Was it not Hot Wheels? There was a line of small plastic ships with little black triangular bases. I got a box of them over there.
Yeah, I don't remember who made those. They're crap though.
Yeah, but they don't look bad. They don't. And I got
like the nacelles are prone to popping off.
Yeah, but I got them dirt cheap, and they don't look bad. And plus, I've got the Eagle Mall stuff, so I'd rather sell that and pay for some of the other stuff I've got coming in. Yeah,
I can't say I want a toy of the Enterprise B specifically, but I definitely wouldn't mind having just a representation of the Excelsior class in a decent quality replica.
I just never liked that design. Hey, Matt. No, I found a Cyberverse Magnus I forgot I had. So there's that.
Oh, I got one of those up here too. It's just not especially convenient to pull out and show off on camera like I usually do.
That, just stuff that's been buried in the depths of the room for a very long time.
I appreciate that Transformers Prime's first try was an original Ultra Magnus design, but ultimately I kind of ended up liking the Prime model reuse better overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still think my favorite Ultra Magnus is animated. It's just such a
that's a good design.
Yeah, and believe it or not, the Roadbuster colors look really good on that mold as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of regret not picking that up the one time I saw it when it was $20.
Yeah, me too. In the second run of Megatron,
Yeah, Shadow Blade, I think.
something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
We had those clearance locally for a long time. I never picked one up, and they were sort of like Omega
The
Sentinel.
only two animated toys I didn't get.
What? No. I'm not opening the window. You had all day to lay in the window. This is my time. You slept in the box.
That is exactly why it is now important to lay in the window.
Yeah.
Yes.
So don't worry. You'll get your shots tomorrow, and then I'll open up the window tomorrow afternoon if it's not too bad.
If you live that long.
Yeah.
Well, it's all curbside down there now, so I'll take him down there. I'll hand him
No,
off.
I don't think that's the
Oh.
risk of death Rob was referring to, Don.
I went to the doctor today. Went to the doctor today, and I haven't visited. So I have a regular appointment with my doctor to monitor weight and stuff. And I haven't been in several months because of COVID. The last time I had an appointment, I canceled it. It was when all this started, and they had all this protocol for going and testing and all that. And I called today, and I'm like, I haven't been here in a few months. Do I still need to wait in the car? Like, oh no, just come on in. And I got in there, and like nobody was wearing masks except for me.
Awesome.
I had my mask on. I was in the waiting for my doctor to come in. It's like, hi, Brian, take off that mask.
No.
I love and respect my doctor. He's 81 years old. But he is very set in his ways. He's like, you don't need that. I'm like, okay. So,
Well, I mean, technically, he's right, because you probably don't have the disease, and everybody else in there is going to give it to you, because the mask is
yeah.
keep you from spreading it, not from getting it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a marginal bit of defense a mask will give you from someone else if they're not wearing a mask, but yeah, it's still negligible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But my doctor's awesome. He was the chief of medicine at the West Point Army Hospital back in the 60s. He has so much worldly knowledge and experience from like his travels and stuff. I love talking to him. He's one of my favorite people to talk to. He is very much set in his ways. Of course, he's 80 years old and he's still practicing medicine, so
Yeah.
I'm going to keep that doctor until he
dies.
Yeah.
My mom's original primary care physician basically followed the same track. I think he was in his mid-80s when he finally retired.
Yeah.
His son actually was also a doctor and I think took over his practice, but she didn't like him, so that was kind of the end of that.
Back before I left home, I had to get a new eye doctor because my other one retired.
My new eye doctor's awesome.
Oh.
And he was like in his 70s when I was in my late teens. And his equipment was like the old
Stone knives and bear skins.
No, it was so like I don't know if you've ever seen like eye doctors' offices in movies, but they always have that the old green viewer made of like 50s metal, that green. Yeah, he was still using that in like 1990, 1989. And Mom came in to talk to him about some stuff about new eyeglasses and stuff, and saw how old his equipment was. She said, "We're not coming back here," because it was just literally he was an old man eye doctor. All his waiting room was nothing but old men. He came highly recommended, but it was like, I'm taking you somewhere that has like modern equipment.
Spider Bob was like, Don's doctor had an old school X-ray machine, which is still faster than Don's computer.
True.
Don't make me get on my overhead projector and describe something.
That's also faster than your computer, Don.
Well, it's light based, it travels at the speed of light.
Yeah.
Brian, I should make that for Don.
Make what for Don?
Is it Death's Head 2?
I think
yeah, it is. It's Death's Head.
All right, that joke is running.
That's Death's Head.
It's time to retire.
No, it's Death's Head 1.
It's not 2.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good Death's Head.
Yeah.
That would be a good thing to print diecast when you get your printer set up and calibrated and everything.
Death's Head is Castle Grayskull, basically.
Yeah.
I'm excited to actually start printing.
I need to just go back and put my printer back together.
Yeah.
What kind of printer do you have?
A Prusa i3 Mark III.
Oh, okay. I've seen that one listed in
It's old.
Mine, I made sure I got like a 2020, version.
I mean,
printer,
it's the one you sent me, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so yes, your printer is a 2020, but like the feature set on it is more like 2017.
Yeah, but it has some of the upgrades that
You've got the upgrades that count, like the resume. Yeah. That's a huge one. That's a big one.
The silent board, the 32-bit board.
Oh, maybe we should have updated the show notes.
Oh, I haven't done that yet. Thank you.
The glass bed.
I don't care about a glass bed. So it self-calibrates though, right?
No, I have to.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I should have. The calibration is once you get it, it's okay, but it's a kind of a pain in the butt. That's one of the reasons I don't use a 3D printer that often. Is because it.
Yeah, that's like the universal complaint I hear from people who have 3D printers. It's always the calibration of it is a very time-consuming and tedious and sometimes arduous process.
Yeah, it's not fun.
Well, I watched a video on it and they did it in 3 seconds, so it'll probably take.
It's probably a self-calibrating printer.
The only thing they did is they
piece of paper,
like a piece of paper, right?
It doesn't work that easily.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. I mean, if it worked correctly, it should work that easily, but you have to get it right the first time.
Well, we're speaking of me, so.
I mean, you're savvy.
Saying right on the first time is usually not my forte.
I mean, it shouldn't be. If I didn't break stuff, I'd never learn how to do anything.
Secrets to the universe are revealed when you break stuff.
Yeah, it really is. I not being afraid to break something is one of my most valuable assets.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear God, the Back to the Future thing. I forgot that was this week.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, it feels like so long ago, doesn't it?
I don't even want to hear until the show. I'm gonna blow up.
Yeah, no, we need to address that.
I'll leave that to you then.
Good, thank you. Because it needs to be addressed. It's the Ironhide in the room.
We didn't talk about Leadfoot last week, did we?
No.
I was about to say, but what needs to be addressed, I assume, is your polite letter at this point in time.
Oh, no, it wouldn't be very polite at all.
Well, I think we're on the same page at this point then.
Yeah.
So I do place blame on Hasbro with this, even though a lot of people are like, Hasbro can't help it. Yeah, there's things they can't help.
We got to talk about it on the show because
yeah,
I don't really place the blame there, but I want to hear your opinion because you can sway me sometimes.
Okay.
Well, you definitely have a better grasp of the logistics of it than we do. I know that. So,
I'm not gonna say Hasbro has, Walmart is the one primarily.
Yes. Oh, yes. And we will get to that.
I don't want to make this comment on the show, so I'll basically say it like this. Yes, if somebody keeps getting in bad relationships, the person who is the bad person in the relationship is to blame, but there's some culpability on the person that keeps putting themselves in that situation.
Yes.
So that's basically my thought on it. Formatting.
But man, I have thoughts.
Let me go grab some caffeine. I'll be right back. If I can.
And I might give Matt a chance to pop back on too.
Oh,
John here? John, you here?
He's listening for now.
Okay.
There we go.
John would be someone I would expect to have a 3D printer.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't have time.
Yeah.
I don't have time for that.
Hey, John, did you get that thing I sent you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Good, because like I said, the period thing was throwing my contacts off. I just wanted to make sure.
I actually don't think Gmail recognizes periods. People put them in there or like just to make things easier to read for themselves. But I've heard that you can actually just move the dot around any Gmail email,
You can.
and it'll still work.
Okay. But I didn't want to send the money to the wrong person. That was the main thing. Like some other random John DeLuna out in the ether just gets money.
Well,
from me.
yeah, and that's the thing too. Like Gmail doesn't care where the period falls in the username, but PayPal probably would care about specificity of the address format.
Yes, that's true. It's a way to create multiple accounts on different apps and have them all just delivered to the same inbox. It's a workaround you can use.
Yeah.
Also, when Hasbro Toy Shop was a thing, and they would occasionally have like sign up for our newsletter and get a whatever % off coupon. So I would sign up 5 or 6 times with different variations of the one email address.
Oh, that's evil.
No, it's clever. There's difference.
I did
Wow,
not
this thing
know
prints children?
Optimus Prime was a printer. I had no idea.
I didn't know you could print children, so it's, we're all surprised.
Who would want to?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
As long as you don't have to feed them and, put them in daycare and stuff, I guess that's okay.
Maybe you can print their food.
Yeah, I don't know how I would feel about 3D printed food.
Well, it's kind of like, what was that show on? It was like the other Star Trek on Fox.
Orville.
Orville. Yeah, they used to just walk up to the thing and be like, I want steak, and it would just like...
Well,
appear.
yes, and Star Trek has its replicator that does the same thing, which is certainly where Orville got the inspiration from, I'm sure. But even in Star Trek, there's been the long-running concept of replicated food just doesn't taste like real food.
Well, that's they've got Synthahol introduced in Next Generation, where supposedly it's just like alcohol, but you can dismiss the effects with willpower, and it's like, so it's made of Green Lantern energy. You can just disperse the alcohol that way. Okay, darling, that's how alcohol works. So basically, the entire Federation is run on near beer. Or O'Doul's or something.
Oh God, near beer.
Now, I had an O'Doul's when I was in college once. I wasn't real impressed, but I'm not a beer drinker.
It's not beer.
It's O'Doul's.
I mean, I don't drink, but I mean, it's fake beer. I guess it is beer, but
I mean, I think the last time I had anything alcohol to drink was I bought one of those $1.
You had some wine coolers that you bought for a trip to the beach.
Yeah, it was like a bottle.
It was 2012. 2014.
Was it that long ago?
It was 2014.
Yeah. Although the one thing I was hoping to do going to the on the cruise that we couldn't go on.
Can't remember my middle name sometimes, so I can remember the last time Don had a drink.
Yeah. I've always wanted to try Scotch. I don't know why. I was going to do that on the cruise for some reason. I've never had Scotch. I always wanted to try it. Seemed like that was like a gentleman's drink. But whatever.
Any sign of Matt yet?
No. His internet probably died.
I'm perked up. I was feeling pretty crummy. So I can give it a minute. But I was dragging when we started.
You were a dragon?
Yeah.
Oh, dragons.
We'll give it just a minute. We get some extra pre-show content in here.
Yeah.
So, Diecast, your 3D printer. I'm kidding.
I'm looking at the specs again. Just to see.
I like the printer. I like the price on it.
Yeah.
God, I want the new... What?
There's Matt.
Oh, cool. I want the new Prusa i3, but I don't want to spend $800 on it. And if I spent $800 on it, I would want it to come assembled. Instead of taking 40 hours to assemble.
I bet Matt's real disappointed that when he left for whatever reason he left, you were talking about 3D printers, and now that he's made it back, you're still talking about 3D printers.
Yeah.
Incredibly, yes.
Yeah.
I can't promise how long I'm gonna be here either, because this is twice my internet's given out already, and I can.
Is there a
still hear
storm or
thunder in
something?
the background.
I gotcha.
Yeah, I've been listening to thunder for the last hour. So
Okay.
Arg.
Okay.
It was not a bad song, but
Oh, there. It's 740. No tax. Perusa i3.
Yeah.
Right. Anyway, it's showtime.
Okay.
+5.
So Don, mute.
It doesn't look that big, though. Why does it not look that big?
Diecast. We're done with this now.
Sorry.
Okay.
I was done with it quite a while ago.
I know. Me too. But we're really done with it now because this is Radio Free Cybertron. And I'm
Episode-
not Brian Kilby, but he's right there.
It's episode 682. We're not talking about 3D printers. Hey, pre-show. If you want to know what we were talking about, go subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/tfradio. It'll be posted after you hear this. Okay, so lots of stuff going on this week. Actually, there still is. Again, in pre-show, we thought, hey, there's not a whole lot to talk about, but there is.
Well, there might be a lot of bullet points, but I don't think there's going to be a lot of conversation about all of them.
Yeah. Hey, look, photos. Great. So what there is to talk about, though, Chris has been posting a lot of stuff to the news blog, some episodes of the news desk, and some, which is a podcast, as well as some blog posts. So that's all up at tfradio.net. We'll get into that. We're trying to use that as our show content as much as possible. Sometimes we'll link to Twitter posts or articles from sites that we love and like, but as much as possible, we're trying to utilize for our show content and our show notes content stuff that we do internally. So one thing that also posted this past week was Rob Springer is back with Transform Squadron episode 22. That he was away for a month because he moved, which I'm jealous. God, I need to move. I need to move so bad. Like, literally all my toys right now are in banker's boxes of varying sizes. Been posting that on Twitter. Yeah, I've been posting pictures on Twitter this week of my office, and it's mostly banker's boxes at this point.
Does that mean you're getting ready to move?
I've been getting ready to move for 6 months.
I like how someone followed up to you posting one of those pictures asking like, oh wow, do you have like a complete inventory sheet of that too so you can find whatever you're looking for?
Yeah, no. That was the intent. That was the intent, was to inventory everything, basically organize by boxes and inventory. I've got none of that done. Yeah. So, we'll see. Eventually. Again, I'm trying to consolidate my collection down, so I'd like to get rid of a lot of it. I've been throwing stuff on eBay and selling on Twitter. Eventually, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine and her sister who works at Lego today, and the sister was looking for like recommendations on how to organize her collection. And for whatever reason, my friend was like, "Hey, let's talk to my friend Brian, just so you can see what not to do." And I think we both agreed, like, long term, I'd like to get my collection down to just a couple thousand pieces and put it under glass as much as possible.
Just a couple thousand.
Just
pieces.
a couple thousand. Yeah. That would be great. I mean, that's G.I. Joe Transformers and everything, so.
Yeah, G.I. Joes add up in numbers pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have 400 or 500 G.I. Joe figures.
Wow.
That are, yeah. I don't even think about it, but when I count them, they add up pretty quick. Probably closer to 4, maybe high 3s.
You know, I don't think I've ever had the courage to count my collection of anything.
Yeah. I've had a lot of conversations with my wife about it lately, and she just, again, says, please don't leave me with all this crap.
I'd just be like 1,
That's
2,
fair.
3, and then I'd be like, oh, I lost count. I have to start over.
Yeah, I was just... go ahead, Don.
Oh, no. I was talking to my girlfriend a while ago. And
Girlfriend? A while ago.
Girlfriend, yeah. And, we were talking about thinning out my collection because of, JD and everything. That's been weighing on my mind lately. But I wanted to bring up when you talk about GI Joes. I mentioned this on Twitter. GameStop has a buy one get one half off sale right now.
Don't put that on me, Don.
Oh no! I just wanted the viewers to know because they didn't see my tweet. Snake Eyes is sold out, but Roadblock, Scarlet, and Duke were in stock a while ago at buy one get one.
The one I like is sold out. The three I don't are available.
Right. Well, that plus Ectotron is buy one get one half off.
That's good.
That's good. And some Power Ranger stuff. A lot of the Power Ranger figures are buy one get one half off, including Ranger Slayer Matt, I think. But Trini is sold out right now. So I just want to let y'all know, then the viewers know the G.I. Joe stuff is on sale anyway at GameStop if that helps.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. I wish I liked the 6-inch G.I. Joe. It just feels off.
I actually saw them in stores for the first time the other day, and I looked at each of them, and I don't need them.
Yeah, Snake Eyes is great because he doesn't have a face. And at that scale, no matter what they do, they're not going to make anyone happy when it comes to the faces because they have to be more detailed than the 3 3/4 inch figures. So they're going to be off. It's lose-lose.
Well, and I'll tell you what, too, like, even with the Power Rangers figures, like, most of the time, nobody's happy with those face sculpts either. So that just seems to be kind of a thing Hasbro is having a time with.
If it was all Cobra Vipers, Cobra Commander, or even, I think Destro is probably going to be fine when you have it in hand.
Oh, Destro looks great.
Yeah.
He's been showing up at Walmart's from what I see.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're getting like a, not an end cap, but a little like display that hangs on the side of an end cap.
They call those sidekicks.
Yeah, that has Destro in it.
Yeah, it's weird because Hasbro is doing such a good job with the Black Series figures and the Marvel Legend head sculpts. It's sort of odd that they're having this much of a stumble out of the block with G.I. Joe, even though it is a wave 1 and it's going to be bound to issues, it seemed like they would just apply the face sculpt that they're doing on the other 6-inch line, and it would be a little crisper.
I might suggest that the reason that they're doing so well with Star Wars and Marvel Legends is that at some point they have to submit those sculpts to someone else for approval.
Yes.
Which is not something they ever have to do with G.I. Joe.
And there's a model.
Power Rangers now.
Yeah. If not for the comics so much, but for the live action actors, there's a model you have to go by. You just can't take the 3 3/4 inch Duke head and scale it up. It would look like crap. So you have to add some extra detail to it, and it just looks wrong at that point. And they want it to look like a real person too, and not like a cartoon.
Which is also a failing in the concept stage.
Yeah.
Well, I posted on Twitter. They've got some G.I. Joe Diamond Select style statues coming out, which are very, very good looking and
very Sunbow.
Very Sunbow. And someone who, on Twitter asked me, and I never responded, so I apologize, why we couldn't get the Cobra Commander looking like that in the new line. And I'm thinking they're trying to make it homage to Sunbow stuff, but make it a little different as well, so it doesn't fall in the pattern of just G1 G.I. Joe. And I think that's what they're trying to do, is they're trying to make it a little more realistic, a little less Sunbow, which is why we're not getting... I mean, I'm not a huge G.I. Joe fan. I love that Cobra Commander statue, but I don't think that's why. I think that's why we're not getting a G1 Sunbow Cobra Commander, is they don't want it to fall in that same.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you know what it is? This G.I. Joe line is G.I. Joe's 2006 classics.
Yeah, that's a fair way of putting it. You know, and so 15 years later, it's going to be nothing but the first 2 years of G.I. Joe over and over again.
There was more than 2 years of G.I. Joe?
Strangely. Well, G.I. Joe ran, 13 years? 12? Like the Real American Hero ran from, 82 to 93? 94?
Probably.
Somewhere in there, yeah. Maybe 95.
Yeah. Yeah, long-lived.
Because, I never collected G.I. Joe, but I do remember that.
Okay.
I do remember that being there, my entire toy-buying childhood.
Yeah. And it, G.I. Joe started before Transformers and ran into G2. So cool. Okay. G.I. Joe had classics in 2007. That's true. But the 25th anniversary is, it didn't quite stick. Okay, let's see here. What do we got going on? Anything else? New to Toy Detectives podcast was posted, I think, last week. We also posted, for patrons at patreon.com/tfradio, we also posted a new RFC throwback about toy collecting that's up there for patrons right now, patreon.com/tfradio, which means that here in the next couple of days I should be posting publicly, I think, RFC throwback number 4. So be looking for that in the feed.
What's the topic on that?
I wish you hadn't asked, because I don't remember, because I recorded it 3 months ago.
That is a little bit of a problem, yes.
Yeah.
Now, in complete fairness to Brian, when I was doing podcasts every week, it was very common for me to not know what I had made a podcast about that I had recorded 3 days prior. So this is just kind of a thing you go through when you podcast a lot. It makes perfect sense to you while you're doing it. You're very engaged and focused on what you're doing. As soon as you hit stop on the recorder, it's all out of your head. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Blade Raider said the 25th style stock. They just killed it with the G.I. Joe movie lines. I mean, the body style, I guess, did, but the design aesthetic of the 25th, that sort of went away, and they went for a more realistic, modern sci-fi look as opposed to the cartoony. I mean, I love those figures.
Last time.
Yeah, a lot of people hate 25th, but I like 25th.
Yeah, I liked 25th, and I kind of realized after getting some of the other stuff that I think 25th was exactly what I liked, and I think I'm good.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly, yeah, I should just quit with 25th and be happy.
Good plan.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of stuff though, let's go ahead and do that. Get it out of the way. Chris, I'm gonna let you go first since you got seven of them.
I don't have 7 of them here right now because some of them have already gone on to other places, including Norway, oddly enough. I got the Seeker 2-pack from Target. Yes, in multiples, because I cracked Target.com's code and figured out how to be able to order them. Finally. So I actually like these a lot better than Starscream.
Really?
Do you remember when I talked about Starscream originally, I was saying the transformation felt like it was engineered to be very precise. You had to have angles really exact to get things to fit together right. Whatever was going on with Starscream is not going on with these, and they go between modes super, super easily and smoothly. It's such a better feeling process for the most part with both of these than it was with Starscream. The only issue I'm having kind of repetitively here is that the wings are not attached on their mushroom pegs quite as tightly, so or you have to snap the wings down or pop them back up depending which way you're transforming it. Sometimes they will just come off in your hands, but then you pop them back on and it's fine.
Okay.
But no, the whole thing, it feels so much better. The only thing I had to do to either of these was actually to pop off Skywarp's front skirt plate and file some of the paint off of one of the pegs, because when it would flip up for transformation, it would start to push out crooked, and I've heard this mold can have some cracking issues on that part if it's under stress. But once I did that, it moves very smoothly and it stays in a straight line, so I don't have any worry about that going bad anymore. Thundercracker's color is something I've been concerned about because, with Siege Thundercracker, it was that weird turquoise color that does not photograph because that color doesn't exist in RGB. And it's pretty much the same thing. I haven't tried taking good pictures of this yet, but I know I'm not going to be able to reproduce the color correctly. And even looking back at the webcam monitor, it's not even coming through on the webcam nearly the right color. It's way more blue looking in digital color than it is in person. So having had the opportunity to examine multiple sets in person, I found there is some more subtle assembly variants than the sometimes occurrence of not having the dull surprise face on Skywarp. Between all three of these two and Starscream, there is different eye socket shapes and also different shapes for the eye inserts themselves. So it seems like these two are supposed to have like oblong or rectangular eye sockets and eyepieces that fit into those correctly. Starscream is supposed to have little triangular eyes and smaller eye sockets. Now, what combination of those things you will actually get in your specific figure, there's no telling, because like these pieces are so small. Like the people at the factory obviously cannot tell the difference between like, okay, is this the right tiny little shape that goes in this tiny little hole? So it's kind of random assembly. I think there's probably some Thundercrackers going out with Starscream heads and Starscream eyes, some going out with Thundercracker heads and Starscream eyes, and Skywarp's going out with Starscream eyes or Thundercracker and Skywarp eyes. So if you have like flashlight mode on your phone, you can kind of see that in the package if you have an opportunity to see several of these like on a store shelf or in your dining room, because that's where all your packages live. Like if you have a preference for one eye shape and socket shape over another, you can probably determine that and make your selection accordingly. Fortunately, I was able to get the oblong with the fully filled out eyes, which I think looks the best. On Skywarp, it actually might be better with the smaller Starscream eyes, because then it looks more like, angry screaming, where if the eyes are full like this, that's when you get the kind of dull surprise reaction. So your mileage may vary on that one. One thing, too, I was relieved with is Skywarp is black. It's not that, like, light charcoal gray the Siege one was. So, like, this looks exactly like I expect and want Skywarp to look. I'm really happy with that, and I'm also really happy there was like no paint errors or anything like that. Good quality control on both of these. Again, aside from Skywarp having that little bit of paint over coverage on that one peg that I had to file off, but that was no big deal at all. These have been a really good result for me so far, and I'm very satisfied, and they're even a little bit more satisfying to me because, like, we've been having all that trouble trying to order these off of Target's website, and I finally identified the pattern and figured out how to do it, and it's just so satisfying. This is a puzzle I beat, and I have the proof of it in hand here, and also in multiples that I'm redistributing out to people at cost because I can do this and other people can't so easily. So,
yeah, I mean, what your trick is what helped me get mine. I did a pickup, but if I hadn't listened to you, I wouldn't have it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so right now, as of when we're recording this, the set is not available for shipping on Target.com anymore. It did that once before and came back, so this is probably not, an end-of-life thing for the set, but eventually it'll be back again, and probably the same tricks will apply. But I think I'm done buying Seekers at this point.
Oh, no, you're not. There's going to be more.
Now it's time for clones.
I think
Who cares about clones?
I've done enough. My work here is complete. Yeah, the clones actually are behaving pretty much the same way, with really brief windows of availability on the website. And it seems to be the same problem. As stores are scanning them into inventory, they're at least briefly becoming available on the website to order for home delivery. So if you're watching it at the right moment and you can catch it and complete checkout in time, you can get clones off the website like that. Otherwise, you have to try to get them from a local store.
That's so weird. It's still just so weird.
It's weird to me that it seems like Target, whatever central distribution Target has for their website orders, has not gotten these in yet. That's the part that kind of confuses me, because it's been plenty long enough that should have happened already. There should be a stable quantity of them to order from the website and not have to go through stupid Target tricks.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the Northeast, and I don't mean to cut you off. You don't have anything else?
No, I think that's it for what I want to talk about this week.
Because I'll go into mine after I make this comment, because I'm in the Northeast of the U.S., and they never came this way. Like, everyone was like, and I was one of the ones that did it. Like, we'll get it, in a week or two after they started showing up in California and Texas and all those places. Like, it will come and it will be here. And then I kept checking the website. There was one night, I think over 4th of July, that I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, maybe I can get lucky like Chris. And I kept checking my phone. I checked it for like an hour.
Oh, yeah.
So I went to sleep, and at that day, they hit at like 5 a.m. So I missed it by like an hour.
Yeah,
but I've seen it from anywhere from like, I think you said like 2 a.m. to 5, a little after 5 is probably the latest I've ever seen it. So I was not able to get one, and I kept going on and doing the search by store, and the amount of stores and the distance kept getting farther and farther away and less. So pretty much it looks like, as of the last time I checked, there was like, 2 stores in the whole U.S. that still had some stock of these guys. But I was lucky enough. Thank you to Sean or Donvoy, who secured 2 or 3 sets and was able to send me a set. So I really appreciate that, because I was the one like calm and cool, like, we're gonna get them, it's no problem. And they started drying up, and the stock never got out to me like I thought it would, like it did with the Rainmakers. So I'm like, I started to get nervous, and then Sean came through in like a huge way, and I'm so happy to have him, because honestly, we've talked about Voyager-sized G1 Seekers for years, and to actually have this come about is awesome. I'll buy the cone heads, I'll buy everything they make in this mold, just like I did in the Siege Seeker mold, unfortunately. But
if last year's any indicator, they may view that as a challenge.
Yeah. And I got I'm not sure about the eyes. Chris is probably a little bit more detail oriented than I am, because I just looked at them and was like, thank God they're purple and blue. I did get the dull surprise screaming face on Skywarp there. So
I kind of want to try to get an extra Starscream and swap heads, and maybe get that, dull surprise Starscream eventually repainted as, dying coronation Starscream.
Yeah.
Wait, has anybody had luck finding the variant, like the figures swapped sides, or the original Skywarp not having?
You mean the packaging error?
The packaging error, yeah.
Yeah, it's not a variant. It's back. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, no, that's probably a one-off. And
what about the face?
The face thing, I could see being something that would happen more than once, but like just today, I think there was a picture going around of an Earthrise Optimus Prime in normal colors with the alternate universe Optimus head.
Mm-hmm.
So
this could be something like the Chrome Dome was a couple of years ago that was getting the Japanese Titan Master. It's just a glitch in the production run, and somehow the factory had the wrong box of heads to put on the figures.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly it. And
then thanks to my friend Pat, Dustbuster, I got the clones.
Now, is that the first time you've had those molds?
No.
Okay.
No, I actually have one of the clones sitting on my desk, and I was like, I don't need the clones, and he's like, they're the Japanese color, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll get them then.
that means the Autobot ones will be that funky pink color then, if that's the case.
Probably.
I like the faces on these much better, because they're actually painted silver with red eyes, where on the US one, they're just all plain white. It's a white face with a white helmet and, the red eyes. So I think the face is much better on the Japanese, the the Japanese, or is that what we're saying? Japanese or Asian release of these?
Those are the Takara or Legends colors, if you prefer.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody. But yeah, I like them in hand. I definitely think they are the better colored of the two. Now, like you said, I really don't care about the Autobot clones, because I think the Hasbro colors are much better than the Takara colors. So, but I'm sure they're gonna do the Autobot clones too.
Probably eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it would be silly for them to do one set,
Not
not
that
the
silly.
other. But
They've done weirder things.
Well, they originally spread the clones amongst 4 sets, but again, that was in response to everything going on at the time. So,
Well, I think too that was partly like they wanted to make those box sets be a little bit special by having a unique mold in each one of them. And then when the last 2 box sets kind of fell through, that sort of kind of put everything up in the air.
I'd still love to know what the Voyagers and Leaders for those would have been.
Yeah.
And then I also got my Netflix Chromia, because she was the only one I was missing out of the deluxes. If you watched my video on the deluxes, the Wave 1, she was the only one I didn't have. So I finally found her at a Walmart and picked her up, because for some reason the ones I bought on Walmart.com the day they were announced still haven't shipped.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's not
Yeah,
obvious yet.
did you hear they opened pre-orders again for the Netflix Siege toys?
Yet they
wonderful.
haven't shipped a single one yet
Yeah.
that I know of. So that kind of hurts my head. But and they seem to sell pretty well at Walmart. Like they're pretty sold through in the Walmarts in my area.
Yeah, I saw pretty high turnover for the first case or 2 worth, and then after that, I think the local market got saturated and they haven't really moved since.
Okay.
well, we only have one Walmart locally, and all that's left is Hound and Sideswipe. Everything else is gone. I mean, we had a Mirage there as of 2 weeks ago, but that was the last non-Sideswipe Hound that was left.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
might still be a Mirage here, but it's I think mostly Sideswipes and Chromia here.
And then I'm going to pull it down and talk about something off topic. I got a Star Wars Black Series figure, and it has 0 points of articulation.
Wait. That's a real thing?
Yeah.
The Han Solo and Carbonite. So is that
Nice.
a retail, or is that like an exclusive?
It was on Amazon and Hasbro Pulse. So I ordered it from Hasbro Pulse and got it. But yeah, it's my first Star Wars Black Series figure that has 0 points of articulation. And I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with it. If I'm supposed to leave it on the card. It looks like it has a stand, so you could actually put it on display, which is kind of cool.
Oh,
So
nice.
the only suggestion I can really relay to you is what David Fake Eyes on Twitter did, which was to set up an apartment scene for Boba Fett and use that as the coffee table.
Nice.
Now, if they make a Black Series Slave 1, because since they're doing the snow speeder and everything, they might make a Black Series Slave 1. Since they're reissuing the Black Series Boba Fett later on, you could have a diorama with Boba Fett taking him into the... Because that would make sense on them doing that, is if they're doing a companion piece later on, that you could use that with him, using a dolly and pushing him into the ship.
Yeah. And then as Don pointed out on Twitter, I got 2 more Unicrons, or not Unicrons. So I'm up to 3.
Thought it was 4.
Yeah,
The fourth one hasn't arrived yet, has it?
Number 4 hasn't arrived
Oh,
yet,
dear
but it's on
Lord.
the way. It's in shipping somewhere.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Anybody else, Matt?
Yeah. Because Chris is absolutely freaking awesome.
Yes, I am.
I
Thank
got-
you.
Skywarp and Thundercracker.
Do you love them?
I love them so much. They are the most wonderful things ever. I got
At least until the next sequence.
apparently Skywarp with.
Don't tell me we lost Matt now.
No, he's there. Anything else?
I think Matt might have lost us
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
because he looks a little confused.
Yeah, he was in the middle of saying which Skywarp features he got, and
And I would like to know the answer to that question, so hopefully he catches back up to us shortly here.
yeah,
As
I
we
do want to
all
know.
just
Saddest part?
stare intently.
He's
there he
gone.
goes.
He's gone.
Oh,
Hey,
well, he's been having-
we'll never know.
Yeah, he's been having connection issues tonight, and he said that was his last go.
And naturally,
Matt
it would
was
happen when he
genuinely
was.
happy.
Oh wow, I lost my connection too. Oh, look at that. Let me rejoin. Did I lose connection altogether? Nope. I love when this happens. I love Skype. Bum, bum, bum. Hello.
Hello again.
Did we
Did I
all
get
drop, or
kicked?
was that just me?
No, we all dropped.
Yeah.
Y'all dropped.
I love you, Skype. Thank you, Skype.
Thank you, Skype, for letting us
You know,
record
the
this.
saddest part of that was that Matt was genuinely happy
I
for
know.
once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad he got him.
Yeah, me too.
I'm just glad he
Same.
lasted long enough to sing my praises.
Guys couldn't deal with it.
Skype
Yes.
is Ultra Magnus.
Yeah. Okay, let me.
That's happy? What? This program must be broken.
Computer Arch.
Yeah. Okay. So Matt was happy. That's the end.
Matt got Seekers. He was happy.
Yeah. God, he was happy. Just look on his face and
I know. I'm happy for him.
There's worse episode titles we could have than Matt got Seekers. He was happy.
There
yeah,
we
that's
go.
true. So okay, let's see here. Anybody else get anything?
I did.
What'd you get done?
Thanks to the wonderful John DeLuna, I got my set of Seekers from John. Thank you very
John's
much,
awesome.
John DeLuna. Yes, because nothing. I have been. I checked my Target for over a month straight, every day, and they never came in, and I still haven't seen any at all. So thank you, John, for getting those for me. I did pick up a Studio Series Roadbuster at my Target when they finally came in. Not sure why. I decided I wanted something for my Perseverance for the last month, so I picked them up. But that's really all I got. But I did want to say something when Diecast was talking earlier about the lack of figures. Having worked retail as long as I have, and we've mentioned this before.
And service
like,
merchandise, just as a reminder.
No.
Yeah.
When Walmart doesn't get something for a very long time, like Earthrise,
You've
we
heard.
wind up getting it in that PDQ that was that we got several months ago. Target is apparently not doing that. They're not like, this is a in-cap feature for week X to week Y, and they're not sending the stuff as a whole to set the display, which is what we used to do in the past when I was working retail. Is if we had a feature, 99% of the stuff came in labeled at one time, this is to be set this week. It seems like Target is not logistically getting all the stuff to the stores for this end cap to be set, which is part
For
of the
this
problem.
one.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying I've seen it at Target before.
Target's distribution is pretty darn good.
Yeah, on a lot of things, but I've also seen several end caps of various product where it's half set for weeks, and the other stuff just doesn't show up until God knows when. So
Well,
I
there's
think
other
that
stuff
could
that's
be- that
taking
could be-
priority right now.
Oh, I
so,
know.
mean, you can't
I,
really.
I'm just saying that's one thing that I'm seeing between Walmart and
I was told by someone again at Target that this isn't coming through their normal distribution channel. I'm assuming it's coming via parcel. So, which would explain the sporadic, weird distribution. So, I don't know.
That's weird.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, things come via parcel, all the time. It's just, it's usually, there's a reason for it. But this is something you would normally expect to come on one of their trucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. What else, Don? Did you get anything else? Nope. Rob, did you get anything?
Dude.
Yeah, I got a few things. I did get Earthrise Leader Optimus Prime, which
Ooh.
that is a nice figure.
It's lovely.
I'm pretty satisfied with that. And once I get the non-F set, which should be here eventually, I will be, I think, even more satisfied with it.
That's a big set.
It is, and I think I'm really going to be happy with that. Just that trailer once all that's done. Just because the trailer, I feel like, is just as it comes is a little bit of a weak spot. It just there's so many things that Optimus Prime's trailer used to have that it does not. If I had ordered this set before I ordered the figure, so I was already set up for that. If I had just gotten the figure, I don't know how I'd feel about that trailer, if that makes any sense. But yeah. I was already well prepared, and that being the case, I am pretty happy with it. It's fun to transform. I like the looks of it. I like that they actually gave it opaque windows, which just looks so nice. And yeah, it's by the time I'm done with the non-F set, it's going to be. I don't think I will need a G1 1984 style Optimus Prime figure again.
And I think that's what a lot of us have been saying who've handled that toy. Like, this could be your last Classics Optimus Prime for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, they'd have to come up with something really pretty great for me to want to do that again.
They would essentially have to invent a new number to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, I did specify 84 just because I could see them doing a Power Master Prime, something like that, G2 Prime that I would want to get. But in terms of 84, yeah, that'll do me for a good while.
That's a good topic of conversation too. Like not now, but later. But like what? Like this is truly the G1 do-over line. So like, what do they do next? Like everything's been inspired by, and we finally have gotten like the line that is definitive. Like this is definitely G1. What do they do?
Beast Wars.
Hopefully
keep shrinking down until we get like basically micro machines at leader class price points.
Yeah, world's smallest Transformers will be leader class figures in 5 years.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I also got Rumble and Ratbat from a Chinese seller. I didn't go any farther over retail than I was super comfortable with. It was about $15, I want to say. So that's
I think that's close to what I paid on eBay for the set I got, 6-8 months ago.
Yeah, so they are still up there at that approximate cost, and I really like those figures, which is good since I pre-ordered that box set, which has 2 more of each. But yeah, those are nice little tapes. They look good. I kind of wish that Centurion accessory set had just pylons for Rumble and Frenzy, but other than that, I got no complaints. They look good. They were reasonable, and I think that's me done with Siege at this point.
Nice.
Cool.
And I think that's everything I got. I think everything else is still just waiting to ship mostly.
Cool. John, did you get anything? You here?
Yeah, I'm here. I actually don't think I got anything.
Oh.
So I'm good.
Okay, I guess it's me then. So I got the Seeker set, and I haven't had a chance to do anything with it. It's literally just still in the box, which is now in another box in my office full of boxes. So,
which is itself another box.
Yeah. So, thanks to Spider-Bob for pointing this out. I got this Gears, the Happy Meal McDonald's one. This one is the like turquoise and yellow, which it's a milestone because it is my last Gears from the McDonald's set. So now all I need are the Brawn, 3 more Brawns, 3 more Cliff Jumpers, and 3 more Bumblebees, and I'll have them all. Which
Gotta catch them all.
Yeah, which are the most expensive ones to get. So.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, Brian, because I misunderstood your tweet the other day. So you don't have duplicates, but you do have duplicates?
There are 4 figures. There are 4 figures. They're Brawn, Gears, Bumblebee, and Cliff Jumper. And there are 6 different variants per.
Oh, okay. All right. I was trying to figure out how you were looking at that because it didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, so it's 24 total figures, and I have 15 of them.
Thank you.
That is so unbelievable to me, honestly, that you are up to 15 of those.
It's
things.
like 3 years ago. I never even really I never even touched one, and I'd heard about them for years.
And it must have seemed basically unattainable too, just because of what they were.
Yeah, but yeah, just perseverance. Eventually I may complete the set. I may not. I'll be fine either way. So there's one right now on eBay that is way out of what I'm willing to pay for it that I don't have. It says it's the quote most desirable one. It is the only one I've seen of that for sale. But yeah, I can wait. Let's see here. Just other things I got. Last week I had a hubcap mint on sealed card. This week I have a mint and sealed box. Machine Wars Starscream.
All right.
Yeah. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Box
I
is
always meant
sealed.
to go back and get the King Atlas version of that and just never did.
You never got King Atlas?
No, because I've got Skyquake and I've got the Starscream repaint. So I really, at the time, didn't want a third version of that. But now
King Atlas is the prettiest looking of the 3, far and away. Even though Skyquake is the best.
That's why I didn't buy Universe Optimus Primal, is those colors, as G2 as they were, didn't really do much for me at the time.
Yeah, I mean, it was a Walmart exclusive, right? I picked it up when it was new. Otherwise, I wouldn't have it. I happened to see it. Oh, let's see here. A couple other things. So, BotCon 96, dealer exclusive Onyx Primal. What? No, the BotCon 96, yeah. Not. It's like that was the Men in Black BotCon, right? That wasn't the Rock Show BotCon.
That was 95.
Yeah. So,
I'm sorry, Brian. It's just 96 brings back.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad memories.
Yeah. So I had no comps. I had no idea what this was worth. I happened across it on eBay, and I couldn't find a comparable sale on it. And so it was reasonable-ish. So I bought it.
It was reasonable to your sense of reasonable for what it is.
Yeah. Honestly, I had forgotten that there was actually, maybe we talked about it recently. But this was the dealer exclusive. So I don't think anybody knows how many of these were actually made, but it's basically the exact same figure. The box that it originally came in, this was loose. Said it was a dealer exclusive, and on the back, they're in the gold paint. It says dealer exclusive.
Yeah, the box was the same as the regular convention exclusive, except the pattern was the same, the color was different, and it had a sticker on there that said in like gold foil, dealer exclusive. And then I think you said the back of it was marked like that as well.
Yeah, the back was marked like that. So
that's the only major difference was the color of the box. The pattern was the same, and then the gold foil sticker, that was pretty much it.
So in the chat, tfradio.net/Discord, forgot to plug you guys this week. We love you. They were asking how much it was. It was $145. So.
Oh, that's actually a lot better than I was expecting.
Yeah. So I saw it. There was no comps. Like I said, I have no idea how much it was going for. I've been pricing like early BotCon stuff, And, this is only the third BotCon. So this is my oldest BotCon exclusive. So it may be the oldest BotCon toy I ever get, to be honest. And it seemed reasonable to me, so I went with it. Trix is like, I guess that's acceptable.
Yeah, no, that's a lot better than I was expecting. I was thinking you'd be over $100 more than that, honestly.
Yeah. So, I was pleased with it. Let's see here. I'll show this on Twitter first. But just somehow, some way, I didn't even get a notification. I think XV had posted on Twitter yesterday.
Oh yeah.
That his double dealer was shipping, and I checked mine and it said, "Hey, you're getting it tomorrow." And I didn't even get a notification it was out for delivery. It just got delivered. So I haven't transformed it yet, but I love this tweet that I put out earlier. It's double dealer. There's speculation on how big it was. It's double dealer, and it's not a fair comparison because Titan's Return Blaster is pretty big, but he comes up to Blaster's waist, to his midriff. So he is still basically large Voyager size.
I need to set Titan's Return Blaster up next to G1 Blaster one of these days.
They're
just
comparable.
I was about to say, they're pretty comparable, I think.
Yeah. So I haven't transformed it yet. I haven't had time. And I honestly don't know if I want to be honest with you. So I love the robot mode, though.
New toys are wasted on you.
I know, right? I know. I love the look of it, though. It's basically my idealized version of G1 reimagined with joints, because it captures it really well. The joints on it, the knees are pretty tight. The shoulders, they're held in with friction. They're not ratcheted or anything, but the hips are ratcheted. It's pretty sweet. I don't have his engines anywhere handy. They're in a box somewhere, but he does have the spot for where they can go in as like cassettes, which...
Yeah, I mean, you could just jam a rat pad in there.
Yeah. It's true. Maybe that should be the show title instead of Matt Was Happy.
Just jam a rat pad in there.
Let's write that down. Jam a rat pad in there.
Yeah.
So, there was speculation on what this was going to be retooled into. I saw a couple things that were suggested, but Proto Man Daniel had suggested, and it's one I think that it makes the most sense, which would be Deathsaurus, because it's already 95% there.
Maybe
I could absolutely see this being Deathsaurus. The dragon mode or the dino mode is just automatic. You just add a couple. The tooling just changed a little bit, and this is a flippin' Deathsaurus. So that's what I really hope it's going to be.
Well, I mean, they've been hinting around at Deathsaurus for a while now.
Yeah, so Rodimus Springs like it's not big enough for Deathsaurus. Yeah, it is. It's it's.
Well, remember
Relative to the rest of the line right now?
Yeah.
Probably.
Well, remember they did Deathsaurus from the Skylinks mold in the Liokaiser.
Yeah, the Liokaiser set.
So this is going to be the next level up. So I mean, if they could do it on a Voyager like Skylinks, there should be plenty of space available to do it decently.
He's about the same size as Skylinks.
And it's not as if they're going to ever do a Commander class Deathsaurus. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, it's not practical.
That's not how any of this works.
Yeah. Gosh, I cannot remember what the other recommendation was for this, but it's yeah, I like it. It'll be Deathsaurus, I hope. If not, I'll be really sad. The only other thing I got was it's on the wall. Something I wanted for years. It's not the Grail. It's the Grail for me would be the Hill Crane version, which I would love to have so much. But this is the 1998 Pioneer version of the Laserdisc. The Transformers movie Laserdisc. It is.
That's a cool cover.
It's an awesome
It
cover.
is.
Yeah. Black and
Very
white.
metal.
Yeah, with Unicron. So, I mean, some differences. I mean, it's mono, where the Hill Crane set is stereo. and I don't believe this has any of the like the trailers or anything that the Hill Crane set that came out in '89 has. This it was open, so it comes in a nice little sleeve that you can close it back up with. I popped it into my Laserdisc player and watched it, or at least bits and pieces of it, and it looks definitely better than the VHS, but it doesn't look as good as the DVD. So, pretty stoked to have this. It's also one of the things that I got it for way less than it normally goes for. So, it's it's a nice stepping stone if I'm ever lucky enough to get that Hill Crane Laserdisc eventually. That would be wonderful. But yeah, so it's cool. It's got it in the case. It's on the wall, and yeah, it's a minor-ish grail. But the Hill Crane is a major grail. It's actually of the grails that I had of things that I wanted from the '90s. That's the last one. It was that Metro Titan, and I forget what the other one was. But yeah, the Pioneer DVD, Pioneer Blu-ray, Pioneer Laserdisc. It's pretty awesome. So Rob had asked a couple weeks ago, I think offline, if I ever get if I ever got that, what Ba Weep Ra Weep Nini Bong sounds like in Japanese, and it's pretty close.
Yeah, it is. And thank you for putting that online. I really appreciate that. I've been wondering for probably a good 15, 20 years what that would sound like.
Yeah, it's surprisingly close. I mean, they do a pretty good job with the voices and everything. Most of the music is all there. It's easy to follow along. Yeah, I love how some of the voices are different. Kranix, voices like that are kind of comical. Grimlock's kind of comical, but it's fun watching it in Japanese. So it's pretty cool. And is that it? Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. So, let's see. I should have something pretty cool next week to talk about, though. Pretty excited about it. Fingers crossed.
Did you get a Scorponok?
No, not that cool.
I got another RC shirt. I forgot to mention it.
Oh, it's the Reviews by Diecast shirt.
Yeah, it's yellow. So
nice. I got my Matrix. I got my Matrix mask. It was being held by my local post office for a month. I think
that's weird.
I think the UPS truck that it was delivered on was contaminated or something, so they told me that the truck it was on was being held at the facility for a month.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah. So. Okay. Gosh. I don't want
we've
to
already been going an hour at this.
Yeah, I don't want to do this in order. I'm going to do this by what I think we all want to talk about first, and it's that darn stupid gigawatt. And as I say gigawatt because that's how Doc Brown says it in Back to the Future. This was the exclusive we learned about. It was a Walmart.com exclusive. God. And 1,985 units. There's a little sticker on the box that designates which unit you get. And
for the record,
what? Yeah.
I do just want to interject here that somebody found out that the network distribution of G.I. Joe Classified Cobra Commander, which was our previous fiasco, that was an allocation they claim of 2,000 units. So Walmart, one of the largest retailers in the world, got 15 fewer gigawatts than Network got Cobra Commanders, which they sold out of in minutes.
Yeah.
And I would say it was actually 1984 because I believe the sample was 0001. So
Okay.
Yeah, if they had the sample, then yeah.
yeah.
So,
although it's very probable too, they produced 2 units of number 1 just to have one for a photo sample.
yeah.
That's true, yes.
So it was limit to 12 units per. 12 units. And-
Seriously?
12?
Yeah, 12.
What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
What?
12. Per purchase. Each person could buy 12 units.
I hadn't
Why?
heard that. Now I'm angry again.
Yeah.
What? That was my whole thing. Like, I know on the phone, and I hope it's okay to go into this already, but on the phone, I was seeing that I could order a quantity of 12. But when it actually went live, not at the time they said it would because they had issues. What was it about 4:45 that it went up? I forget exactly. But I was driving home from work and I was like, "Oh, it's up." I kept refreshing the phone while I was driving home and it was like, "Oh, you can pre-order it." And then as soon as I hit like add to cart or whatever it was, check out, because their mobile system is different, I got an error. And I went back, I tried it one more time, got an error. Went back again, sold out.
Yeah.
I kept trying every link I saw to get through. The page never worked, never came up, kept trying. Went back about 20, 30 minutes later, sold out.
Now I heard some people who actually did manage to get one. They were using the web browser and they added it to the cart and it wouldn't let them check out right away, but it was still in their cart. So they were able to go back to their cart, try and check out, and eventually it would let them check out. But these things were gone in like seconds. Like there must have been 10 seconds and these were gone.
Yeah.
And it seems
Hasbro
like
apologized.
Approximately 100, barely. About 150 people placed orders for 12 and it was gone.
Hasbro apologized for Walmart's technical issues in launching the pre-order page not being at the determined time. They did not apologize for the limited quantity total available, or that people could buy a dozen of them at a time and complete that quantity in moments.
it should have been one per person.
But the most insulting part is
Yes, thank you, Brian.
that these have been put up, the pre-order slots have been put up for sale on eBay. And they are going for $400+. People
for
are paying
a $29.99 figure.
Yeah.
Well, I that's the fault of the people who would actually pay that much.
That is true.
I'm not going to pay that much because I'll wait for Hasbro Pulse to get it. But as a collector, I really would have liked to have an opportunity to get one of these.
Yes. I want a numbered one.
Price.
I want a numbered one. So
I don't care about the numbered one. I hate that the non-numbered one is basically an unknown quantity. Is the number the only difference? Is there a deco difference? Is there some other distinguishing feature? We don't know. But if we still actually want to bother with this, we're stuck with that now because they screwed this up that badly.
Yeah, and from a company that has had bad launches of exclusives dating all the way back to Nemesis Prime, they should have known better. They should have worked with Walmart to either get more quantity or make sure to avoid customer dissatisfaction. Dissidence. Thank you. That's a better word. That worked with Walmart to make sure that there was a limit on them. Now, I've got to say this, Brian, so I apologize if I'm interrupting. I am the last person on this podcast to begrudge anybody making a buck. I mean, that would be really hypocritical of me, considering the way I wheel and deal. But if you ordered that many, or if you use bots to place multiple orders to drain them, I have to say the hell. Because while I respect, respect's the bad word. If you saw an opportunity and you took it, okay? That's a lot of initial outlay of money to buy that much. I understand that. But the karma is going to come back and is going to kick you in the butt over this.
Yeah.
Because if you put these up, people are going to know you were one of the ones that drained it so that nobody else can get one.
Maybe.
What's that going? What's that going to do? If you're running a store how's that? And you normally have a more even approach to selling your product, and you've got this up there. I'm just saying, toy karma is a thing. This is going to come back and haunt you in some fashion at some point. But I believe Hasbro should have worked with Walmart to make sure as many people got this, because now Hasbro, whether through any fault of their own or not, is going to be getting a lot of blowback from this. And that's something no one needs right now with everything else going on over a $29.99 toy that more people should have gotten.
Now, okay, just a few things. First off, I don't believe in karma, but if anybody who put in a $900 order for this on eBay wants to screw with the person through eBay channels over that large a charge, I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah, same.
Secondly, Walmart is to blame, but as Brian was kind of saying before the show, Walmart's website is not set up for pre-orders in a collector kind of way because Walmart does not give a damn about that kind of thing.
And Hasbro knows this.
Yeah, and Hasbro knows this. So if they had a choice of who to offer what exclusives to, this particular exclusive offered this particular way was a really stupid thing to offer to Walmart.
They could have done this through Pulse.
They could have done this through Pulse, where they could control it themselves and do it as best as possible. I mean, there is, you start to think after the network thing a couple of times over that as long as it creates a, what's the word?
Buzz?
Somewhere between desperation and a passionate demand, let's go at somewhere in that range, that they don't particularly care how this goes, as long as it does. Yeah, as long as it creates buzz, as long as it gets people wanting these things. I'll say that one of the first things I did when all of this was over, when I realized that even if they had not screwed it up at every step, only 1,985 of these on a major retail website like Walmart, again, compared to 2,000 Cobra Commanders on Network, which is, a fly-by-night frustration engine, is insufficient. So basically, the first thing I did was I went and I canceled my pre-order for Rotor Storm. Thinking about Centurion 2, just because this should not be difficult. This should not be time-consuming. This should not be frustrating. I don't need it to be any of those things, and I don't need these figures that badly.
Yeah.
And for my part, once I realized these 1985 gigawatts, whatever, were not going to come out any sooner than the regular retail ones, as far as we could tell, I completely stopped caring.
Yeah, that was the punchline after all of this. Yeah, the other ones that are coming out in October, we don't know what they'll look like. They probably won't be numbered. Coming out at the same time as these.
If they are,
well, that's what was confusing too. I thought these were going to be shipped right away.
That's what we thought at first, but when the page finally showed up, it said shipping in October.
And
does that mean Walmart got that wrong? I mean,
who knows?
Well, and if the Netflix figures are any indication, even though it says shipping in October, it could be shipping in January, March, or next Arbor Day.
It's true.
Yeah.
So if this is things, real quick, this has to be pointed out. If the difference is just the sticker on the box, what's the easiest thing in the world to do?
Reproduce a sticker.
Make a sticker. So I will buy 2. And I will make the sticker. Then I'll have my own numbered one. And I'll be happy.
What I might do is I will also buy 2, but instead of making a reproduction sticker, I'm going to get a stack of Post-its, and I will just write a number on a Post-it and stick that on the front of the box.
I mean, that's what a lot of people were talking about too. Is they said it's going to be a variant that's going to be released on Hasbro Pulse. So. A variant is not just a sticker.
Well, all
No,
I've
that'd
heard
be a
is the
packaging
license
variant.
plates. Yeah, all I've heard is that the license plate on the regular release will say out of time, whereas the license plate was going to be numbered on the ones that was up this week.
Really?
That's what I've
Which
heard.
means
That's
the
what
stock
I've.
photos you were shown were of the regular version and not the promo version.
Well, that's what I'm. Again, I haven't had a chance to do a deep dive, but that's what I'm seeing the most common mentioning of the variants is
From
that
who?
it's the license.
What's the source?
I can't remember, Brian. I just remember
If
seeing
If the
it
source
pop up
is
stuff.
Transformers
I
Lover
think-
64 or 32
I
or
just
I think Adam Paulus might have mentioned it at some point,
okay.
but who is fairly reliable, but
Yeah.
I can't guarantee
Again,
that that's
I'm
the
just
only
saying.
variation or that that's what it is.
But the thing that, and I'm going to say this, and I'll not try to be long-winded again. I apologize. As someone who shot Matty Collector, as someone who went through that process trying to get the DC Universe Classic figures that I wanted at the time or whatever they were producing, someone who sat through this in 2008, 2009, 2000, whatever it was when DC Universe Classic was coming out, when they were going through Digital River, it is almost, if not a decade later. Why is it so hard for these companies to launch a product and make it this difficult to give them money?
Well, Don, so this is the opposite of Digital River. Digital River kept going down. You could never, it was just super frustrating. This is super smooth because it sold out like that. So it's
But
the
I'm saying
opposite
that-
problem.
Well, but I'm still saying it's the same to me in the fact that you can't get to the product to buy it. The Walmart website was not set up to handle this.
Digital River, it was just slow and it took you 30 minutes to go through the process.
Right. But I'm still saying the end result is the frustration of trying to give someone money for something.
Hence,
and you
it's also
can't
being
do it.
hence it also being a Hasbro problem because Hasbro limited it to 1985 units.
With no limit. They could have made. They could
Well,
have
its
made
name
it
was
like.
Gigawatt. I guess we should be glad they didn't limit it to 1.21 of them.
Yeah, so
That's good, Bob.
The other thing is, what were they thinking with the windshield? That just looks terrible.
who cares?
Hasbro's been
Agreed,
making
though.
some bad choices with clear plastic lately.
I'm so glad they didn't make that choice on Earthrise Prime. He would look so not good with that. I just wish they'd made the right choice on Red Series Prime while they were at it.
Yeah. Well, and like Earthrise Prime's windshield is clear plastic parts. It's just opaque backed, which is a valid approach to take.
Yeah.
And then the other thing people were complaining about on this, just to mention all the complaints since we're talking about it, there's no, is it AMC symbol on the front of the
GMC. Isn't it GMC? No. Yeah, it's GMC, isn't it?
DMC, isn't it, for DeLorean Motor Company?
yeah
Was it
DMC,
DeLorean?
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
There's no emblem actually on the grill of this vehicle.
I always
can
thought it was
kind of-
GMC, but that makes sense. That it was DeLorean themselves.
Yeah, and I can kind of see that just because it is based on the Siege Sideswipe engineering, and that grill is going to be kind of tiny. I can see not doing that
Interesting.
in circumstances.
I actually know somebody has one, and I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah.
A DeLorean, I assume you mean not
DeLorean,
the
Yeah. No.
not Gigawatt.
Yeah, there's more people that own DeLoreans than own Gigawatt at this point.
Okay, cool. Okay, there's a lot of news left, so let's jump to that. We have photos today, tfradio.net/category/news.
Maybe we should come up with a better short link for that.
Yeah, tfradio.net/news work. Type that in.
I mean, there's no reason it shouldn't.
I'll
or
make it
couldn't.
work. I'll make it
Yeah.
work. So we have stock photos of Run Amok. Again, if you want to know the difference between Run Amok and Runabout, Runabout is black. Run Amok is white. So, ba for B, black. So, it sure is a thing.
Man, the back of his legs.
Yeah, they're a little empty, but that's just kind of a side effect of how it has to transform.
Yeah.
So is that Wheeljack? Is that the base
No, it is.
Wheeljack?
It is definitively not Wheeljack
Okay.
because all the operations are different.
Okay.
So the legs transform in a different way, although with a similar result at either end. The arms move different. The windshield and the roof and back of the car work differently. Like it's all completely different. Whereas if you look at the stock photos of Sunstreaker, you can see on that much more clearly the common points between that and Wheeljack. Even though Sunstreaker is doing some different things, like orienting the legs in the opposite way, analogous to how in 2010 Wheeljack and Trax worked, being both based off the same mold. So it's kind of like that, but Runamuck is completely it's new engineering, new everything. And of course, Runabout will be the same thing, which means probably even though there's Runabout in the future, there probably is a co-engineering model with this that's going to be yet again something else, which I still feel pretty confident could potentially be a new Trax. Since that's like the closest in form to what we've got here right now.
Well, I keep saying that there's going to be a Trax in this line, so hopefully I'm right.
Yeah, I mean, change out some of the car body
Are you one of Don's sources?
I am.
If you change the same number of parts that they changed between Wheeljack and Sunstreaker, you could make something that resembles a Corvette out of the skeleton they have here for the Battle Chargers.
Oh yeah.
And I'd be down for that. I like classic Corvettes.
Oh, yeah.
I will never be wealthy enough to own or maintain one, but I like classic Corvettes. The 70s vintage ones, not the 80s ones so much.
Oh yes.
But I like the ones with character, basically.
So, anybody excited about this?
No.
I
my
mean,
thing.
I was excited because I got to study the engineering of it better.
Well, it's nice getting another car transformation that isn't just a straight repaint or a carbon copy, because that will mean some more variety down the road on who they can make these different molds into. Like you said, the mixing and matching to get a Trax. So it's nice. It's not just a third iteration of a slight variant. So it does give us some variety down the road that we might not would have gotten otherwise.
Cool.
Although I do like seeing what they can do with, slight variations on different iterations of one mold. Like if they wanted to run that Wheeljack engineering again with yet again some new car parts, I wouldn't mind seeing what they could pull out of that and still make it seem kind of unique.
Oh yeah.
Cool. And
So that's a discussion for a different time, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I was also stalling because tfradio.net/news now works, so.
Oh, good.
There you go.
Excellent.
So, let's see here. Movie Masterpiece Ratchet photos.
Okay, so the important thing with this, now, like detail-wise, there's not really much new revealed with these pictures, but the important thing, this is a more recent production sample, and all the colors now match.
All right.
Oh, cool.
So that was the biggest worry with that first sample they showed when they revealed this properly originally. There was very distinctly different colors of highlighter yellow green between different parts of the vehicle mode, especially you could see it. Now it's much, much more uniform.
Still looks like a blown up deluxe or.
I mean, that's not really going to change with new stock photos, I don't think, just the way it's engineered.
Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying. I keep looking at this photo and I'm like, I don't know. There's just something that's not translating into masterpiece.
Your audio is jacked up, Diecast. You might want to check it out.
Or jacked down.
Jacked down, yeah.
I'm not sure what happened with that.
Yeah, me neither. So let's see here. Stock photos of. Go ahead.
What's the retail on Ratchet again? 150?
120, I think.
120. Okay.
I am not a completist. Things like this remind me why.
Yeah, I'm not like a Masterpiece buyer.
I mean, I buy Masterpiece, but I don't own a single movie Masterpiece figure.
I own the Volkswagen Bumblebee because I went to Ross one day and they had it for $25.
Yeah.
I've never opened it or touched it since.
That's not. I mean, Bumblebee's not bad.
No, I'm
But
sure
your
it's
audio
not.
is.
I just never bothered to do anything with it after I got it for super cheap. That was pretty much the extent of my interest, is buying it on a good deal.
Sorry, Diecast. Just gotta. It is what it is. So we have photos of Thrice Sunstreaker and Trailbreaker. That's like an actual picture of Trailbreaker. Are these all photos?
Yeah, they're all photos. That's partly what made them notable, because they're not just renders anymore.
So what's up with Trailbreaker's photos? Like, they didn't cut out the background.
So most of those are stock photos from like the Karatomi Mall, but 2 of them were sourced from the official Twitter account.
Ah.
So those are slightly more casual photos, but they also show like more real world lighting conditions, because this has not been processed and cut out and like flooded with studio lighting.
Yeah, Trailbreaker looks great.
Yeah, actually, it really does. Like, it still obviously has the hoist idiosyncrasies, which could be a deal breaker for some people. I'm still not a fan of how the arms are built, for one thing. But like, while still being broad strokes the same as hoist, they've done some good stuff with the new parts they've added. Like, the whole truck bed parts are new. There's the camper shell. The head looks really good, if a little cranky for Trailbreaker.
You know, this is just me being a Trailbreaker fan, but I wish they had swapped out those back arm panels for ones that had hinges, so you could fold just to fold them back up, so you didn't have, because Hoist does have that look with the long back arm panels, and Trailbreaker doesn't. But otherwise, I think it looks great. I'm really looking
I
forward to
would
getting
like
them
to
out.
see that get re-engineered at some point too, but I guess I think we're kind of stuck with that. And honestly, if it was between that and getting either the camper shell, or the camper shell hiding the tow truck parts, because they used up the budget of part swap for making those new side panels, like, I'll live with what they did here. I can live with it.
Yeah, and question came up on Patreon about where that I can live with it comes from.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, in the Pale Moonlight, Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Brian's favorite episode.
Yeah, it's the best episode. Well,
it's definitely up there, and like, you'll notice I pegged that as your favorite episode, because mine is, of course, Explorers.
yeah, well, so, it's my favorite episode of DS9. It's probably tied for my favorite episode with City on the Edge of Forever. My 2 favorite
episodes.
Yeah. Okay, so this popped up this week. This is actually the show art. Of course, I added an Optimus Prime head to it.
Yeah, I noticed.
So,
I'm sad Matt couldn't be here to talk about this, but we can probably cover this with him again when the actual photos come out.
Yeah, let me zoom in here. So it's
going to be the third Masterpiece Seeker, third Masterpiece Starscream.
All the use they're going to get out of that mold.
Yeah. I mean, if you think about it, like, the underlying structure of the existing Masterpiece Starscream goes all the way back to MP3, because like they extensively retooled that for MP11 to make the modernized, more media accurate Starscream, but like the fundamentals of that still are that original Masterpiece Starscream, and all the cone heads after it, Sunstorm, Acid Storm, Skywarp, Thundercracker, like they did I say Sunstorm? Because they did like get tons and tons of mileage out of that original development and then the redevelopment of it. And the only barrier for them here in getting scores of use out of this is going to be the price tag. And my prediction of this, and I think very reasonably, is that it's going to probably hit about 35,000 yen.
So
US dollars, what's that?
300 plus.
Yeah. So do we expect
that's too much.
Do we expect it to be larger or smaller than the current Seeker mold?
I would tend to think it would probably be a little bit bigger, not by a whole lot, because like Starscream is smaller than Megatron, but should be bigger than an Autobot car. So like, it'll probably be a little bit bigger just to get the engineering to work.
By the cartoon, not that much bigger, broader, but like maybe a head taller, if that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go a tad smaller than the previous Masterpiece.
I hope it is. It's too big.
Well, Chris, let me ask you and Rob a question.
Well, this always ends up fun.
When they make a mold, they cut it from the steel and everything else. If they know they're going to be reusing this mold a lot down the road, can they make a mold more sturdy with better materials from the get-go so it lasts longer?
Make more of them.
Because they know they're going to be getting a more use out of this mold than, say, an oddball mold, like if they did Masterpiece Cosmos.
You know, I think Brian already hit this answer. Like they would cut more mold, more copies of it, so that they could run a higher volume of it. Because like it's not really a matter of using a different material, because the material for cutting the toolings is pretty much industry standard based on what material you're producing out of.
Right.
If you think back to the original Classic Seeker, if you looked at the various releases of even just the Starscreams that came out over the course of that, so there's the one in 2006 in Classics, there was the 2008 Universe one, there was the Henkei one in Japan, Ghost Starscream, like all of those have subtle differences owing to different iterations, different examples of those molds, and also where they went back over time and touched up or refurbished the molds to, you know, revitalize them from where they had from previous uses. So, like, there's a lot of iterative variation among those Classic Seekers, and if they're going to go a long distance with this Masterpiece Starscream body, you would end up eventually seeing the same thing, or you would see it result in what the Masterpiece Coneheads ended up being, which was a highly deteriorated mess as compared to MP11, where that body form originated mainly.
I just wasn't sure if you could make a better, higher quality mold that would last longer.
So
think about it
this way too.
multiples.
Think about it this way too. Like, you know, if the standard mold material is steel, like, okay, maybe you could make a mold out of titanium, but you would need, you know, X greater grade of tool to cut that titanium into the necessary shapes, and that would be more expense, cost, process. You know, it would just.
I figured there's grades of steel that you could use. You know, grades of steel to make a tooling.
Yeah, I mean, it would still end up working out the same way, though. The best way to handle it would be to revitalize the mold as possible, but also just have more of them available to produce the higher volume as you're going along.
I'd love to know the specifics of what go into refurbishing a mold, because I don't actually know how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I would have to imagine that a lot of that is like, you know, you identify a piece out of the whole set of toolings where the parts are not fitting right, and if you're lucky, maybe you can like fill some of that back in and carve it back out into the right shape, but probably it'd be removing that from the set and cutting a new one entirely.
Yeah.
So it's not making a whole new tooling for the toy, but you're swapping out one bad part for a freshly cast or cut one.
Yeah.
If they want to do all the variations and all the colors that they can get out of this mold, I think it has to be sub 200 price point.
Like I agree with you in a reasonable sense that the price should be lower. I think with the trend of Masterpiece pricing over the last 2 years or so, it will not be lower. You know, I'm looking at it right now where, you know, wasn't Hound something like 17,000, 18,000 yen retail?
It was too much.
Yeah, it was too much. Like, the prices of the small masterpieces is very high.
Yeah.
And Starscream, while Starscream may not have a great deal of height, there is going to be some engineering complexity to it, and there's going to be like surface area to deal with because of the wings, and you know, to get the build right and the comparative size with the Cars and Megatrons and Optimuses, you know, it's going to require a certain amount of production to it. So I think the price point's going to kind of be up there.
Yeah, probably. Unfortunately, but it is what it is. Let's see here. So, Studio Series Leadfoot coming in October? Question mark.
Maybe.
So, The rule in journalism is what if the headline's a question, the answer is no.
So this information came from, I think, the Hobby Base store in Hong Kong, which we've gotten information through that channel before, and this is bundled with a bunch of other stuff we know to be true. It's most likely true. We just are kind of waiting for any other verification on it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. That's, one that came out from Takara, produced a Leadfoot, and it is expensive. So having another go at that would be great. At the deluxe price point.
You know they're going to do one. I mean, they just did, what was it?
Records,
Roadbuster.
We got what? We got the Human Alliance version and like one of the kid-friendly, like whatever, 3-step changers or whatever they were, versions of it. I think something like that.
Yeah, we got a Legends Roadbuster. We got the the
Legends version.
Yeah,
Legends Top Spin.
Yeah, but it was out in 3 different size classes, but none of the records ever matched across any size class. Some were plain, some were weaponized. So you could not get an accurate weaponized or non-weaponized set of 3 across all 3 versions.
Yeah.
At least in Studio Series, we can pretty much count on having a full set of 3 weaponized ones because they can use those weaponized and armored parts to hide the sponsor logos that they don't want to pay licensing for.
Let's hear. What's this? Line of fish. Oh yeah, the Transformers statues from Pop Culture Shock Collectibles. $55 each. They are incredibly reasonable.
Yeah.
I like them. I bought the Pop Culture Shock Optimus Prime, the tall, the larger statue, but I Dynanomic down to about $100. So that's why I couldn't, because it's cell shaded. But these look really good. I like the fact that we can get these Diamond Select style statues for $50 to $60 instead of paying these outrageous prices for what some of these statues run.
Yeah, they're nice. I'm not buying them, but they look nice.
Soundwave's legs are going to drive poor Chris McFeely crazy, though.
Yeah, I don't think we're ever getting those right again.
What's wrong with his legs?
They are based. The coloration is based on a fan-created model sheet that is not accurate to how he actually appears in the cartoon. He should have silver, or if you prefer, white panels on the front of his legs, not blue.
So, if you're watching the video, this is something going back to a previous topic that John just shared, like a supposed scale from the animation for the characters, which makes the Seekers the same height, roughly, maybe a little taller than Soundwave, which, if they follow that, it would have to be bigger than...
Yeah, if you follow the lines on here, the head height of the Seekers is actually slightly less than Soundwave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember the opening credits of More Than Meets the Eye, Season 1, when Jazz tackles Soundwave, he's, definitely about a head or 2 shorter than Soundwave. So, again, I know that's not exactly accurate with being animation and everything, but, yeah, so we all talking about the Autobot cars and stuff, so they're going to be definitely, like you said, Brian, at least a head or 2 shorter.
Yeah, but it's not like the difference they have, like, in animated, where the Decepticons are, monstrous.
Huge, yeah.
They're basically kaiju compared to the Autobots.
Yeah, that I think that was the one thing that was jarring to me about animated was just the disparity between the two.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Anything else?
And I'm pretty sure those statues will be available on Amazon for probably $49.99.
Cool. So actually, speaking of Amazon, I don't know that you can get it right now. It says ships between 2 to 4 weeks, but tfradio.net/double dealer, $42.49, which is, we mentioned this last week. Of course, mine shipped. I got it today, so
mine's supposed to be here tomorrow.
Yeah, you might be able to. They might sneak it in quicker than 2 to 4 weeks. So, It doesn't say it's out of stock, so tfradio.net/double dealer lowercase. Hopefully you can snag that.
I think technically the status right now would be considered back ordered.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I ordered mine, I think last week when I started hearing that people were getting them. And mine says estimated delivery date of July 31st.
Yeah, so the difference there is mine's from a pre-order that I placed in February.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you just so they can have a reference.
Yeah,
point.
yeah, definitely. Like they're being filled in the order they were received, but
Yeah.
if they're starting to fulfill them now, they should be getting enough on hand to work through their whole batch of orders pretty quickly.
Yeah, fingers
But
crossed.
Considering the original ETA for this was September 1st, I think they're still way ahead of the curve here right now.
Now, not to get too off subject, but do you think that Scorponok might start releasing early because
Possibly.
he's still listed as October 5th in my Amazon?
It's showing
order.
up it's showing up in different places, as is
Around the world.
Skylink, so it's possible.
Yeah, 'cause
And it's
I just
definitely in the US distribution system already, too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I just pulled up my Amazon order, and I placed the order on February 28th, and mine is still showing expected delivery September 21st.
Well, Don, this is the Amazon plug, so let's just move on. tfradio.net/Amazon. So,
Sorry, I'm just.
yeah,
Yeah,
there
I'm
you
just
go.
mentioning y'all were lucky if y'all were already en route.
Yes.
That's all.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are lucky because
I was segueing
we ordered
into the
early
Amazon
through
plug,
tfradio.net/Amazon.
not the double dealer plug. It's not the double dealer conversation. It's the Amazon plug. tfradio.net/Amazon. I bought a tent this week and like a seat cover, like a porta potty thing.
Did you get kicked out of the house again?
Yes, we're going camping, and a bunch of like stuff to go roughing it with at tfradio.net. Actually, I didn't use tfradio.net/Amazon because I can't buy from it myself. Yeah.
I just today bought a second turbocharger for my phone.
Oh, nice.
So that came same day delivery from Amazon because I can get that on some things now.
That is awesome.
Unfortunately, the high speed USB cable I need to actually plug the phone into the charger won't be here till tomorrow
Boo. Boo.
Of course.
because I can't get that same day delivery right now.
Yeah, that reminds me of when I got my the mounting arm for my new monitor through Amazon before I got my monitor.
See, like I feel like that's less of a problem than the opposite thing happening, where you get the monitor, but you have to wait to set it up till you get the arm in because you don't want to have to reset your desk 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
That's true.
But tfradio.net/Amazon, you can buy whatever. Like I said, I was able to get a tent and an air mattress and everything like that. It's pretty awesome. Also awesome, our patrons at patreon.com/tfradio. We thank our patrons at the touch tier every week. Want to thank them now. Kevin Dorsey, Sean Bratton, Jacob Owen Lucia, Sean Hamilton, Jason W. Rye, Mike Mallory, Jason Hiley, Jonathan James, Matthew Dedman, Hector Bones, Nathan Sampy, Spider Bob, Rabbits, Emmett Sresovich, Gaming Fix, Patrick Davidson, and Joey Russell. Thank you all so much. You guys are awesome. Oh man, so we're everywhere. Leave us you know where to find us. Tune in, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. We have a Fire TV channel and a Roku channel. We're on YouTube. If you're not subscribed to us at these things, even if you watch us on YouTube, subscribe to the podcast. Even if you listen to the podcast, subscribe on YouTube. It would really help us out. It's it really would. Other ways to help out, leave a review. While you're listening to the podcast, whatever you're listening on, just leave a review. Whether you just click 5 stars or take time to write something out, it would be great if you would do that. It's super easy.
Take 10 minutes, write a polite review.
Yeah, or just do it while you're listening. It's easy. You can find the links to the topics in the podcast at tfradio.net/682. And it's just a super easy way to know exactly how to get to the show notes. Again, just the tfradio.net/the episode number, and you are done. Let's see here. Rob Springer's not here, but he's at zonebase.org and at RoboRob Springer. He also, like I said, we did an episode, or have an episode of the Zonebase podcast, Transform Squadron, posted. So tfradio.net. I am on Twitter at bkilby, on Instagram at Brian Kilby, and I am working, which will be available at briankilby.com. Actually, if you go to briankilby.com, click on My Music, you can enjoy Christmas in July with my 4 Christmas albums, all free.
We use the term enjoy very loosely, just to be clear.
And I am currently working on the Christmas album, maybe one of 2 that I might be doing this year.
We're sorry.
Yeah, working on them right now. So
Okay, I work retail. Can we not say the C word this soon?
Christmas.
Please?
Holiday
Ugh.
album.
It's time. It's that time.
Yeah, you gotta start.
It's almost the Christmas
No,
season.
no,
Don.
we don't. No, we don't.
And
No, we
Don, you
don't.
forget, I also work retail, and the dirty word in my retail is back to school.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand that. Yes, but Christmas is a horrible, terrible time for me. I don't like it. My girlfriend loves it. That's going to be a point of
Girlfriend.
contention for us. Yeah.
Cool.
So we've
Well,
already talked
maybe-
about it.
Maybe your girlfriend can, teach you to love Christmas again, Don.
Yeah, maybe one of my 2 Christmas albums this year will help. One of them specifically, I think, will help you, Don, learn how to love Christmas. It'll help Scrooge Miller learn how to love Christmas. As a hint. Hint, hint, hint. Okay. Scrooge Miller. Okay. So, Don, why don't you tell us how to get a hold of your girlfriend?
Excuse me.
Or how to get a hold of you.
I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
Cool. Diecast.
You can reach me on Twitter at diecast2. You can see my reviews at tfradio.net/reviews. Hopefully, I'm trying to get that second part of the Unicron review up.
Well, you have
And-
2 more samples to mess with now, so that's
Yeah.
gonna help, right?
And then you can also like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast. And I do, since my birthday's in like 2 weeks, I guess I'll mention I have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/diecast list.
Ooh, I can use some PLA. God, you have a lot of, filament and spam.
Most of it is out of stock, so I put it in my wish list. So hopefully, when I want to check if anything's in stock, I can go there.
Why do you have spam in there?
Someone was telling me spam was really good. It was one of our listeners.
Dude, put
I
in
forget who
armor
it was.
treat. Armor treat. Yes. Yes. So, okay, cool. Anything else?
No, just the birthday in 2 weeks, probably.
Oh, happy
Roughly.
23rd.
If you last that long.
I live day by day, so.
Yeah, your wife could decide she's just done with you at any time, and then that'll be the end of Diecast.
We did discuss this on Twitter, and Spider Bob said his wife would say the same thing, is that they need us to fix things around the house and also to mow the grass, so we're good for a little bit.
Until your wife decides that a landscaper and a handyman is cheaper to keep around than you. Which these days really seems like it's a close race.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see here. Chris, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can follow me personally on Twitter at ChrisRTXV. I have some things up for sale, although actually come to think of it, I took the list down because I wanted to redo it, because I actually managed to sell some things, which was nice, until I had to go to the post office and spend like $75 on postage.
Ow.
It was a lot of boxes.
Yeah.
Lots of stickers and other things. For my photography related things, of course, that's all collected at playwithphotography.com. I should try to talk slower. There's galleries, guides, articles, that kind of thing. On social media, I will post random photos when I'm working on things. So in a lot of cases, it ends up being like previews of galleries that are coming up, or just like I get this wild notion and I start like moving my lights around a centimeter at a time and being like, okay, does this look better? Does this look better? Does this look better? And as I go through that process, I'll just like randomly put photos on Twitter or Instagram. So if you want to, check out part of that process, you can follow on Twitter at playwithphotos or Instagram.com/playwithphotography. If you would like to enable support or just help me to keep doing more of this insanity, I have a Patreon at patreon.com/playwithphotos. For as little as $2 per month, you can contribute to my madness. And with higher tiers come more rewards. And I want to give a special new patron shout out to Spider Bob, who joined up this month. So thank you very much for that. And hopefully I'll actually have some content to put your name on soon.
Cool. Awesome. Rob, how do people get a hold of you?
I am on Twitter at Rob Flails. That is the official Twitter of Flail Throughs, my YouTube channel. I cover Gundam Battle Operation 2. It is a free-to-play Gundam team shooter for the PlayStation 4. Second anniversary of that is coming up soon. Looks like the Double Zeta Gundam's going to get added. This past week was the Humberby, and that's a lot of fun. But at any rate, if you like what I do there, patreon.com/flailthroughs, you can throw me money and request specific rounds in the game. And, of course, I also have a wish list at dfradio.net/playlist.
Wait, did you say they're adding the Double Zeta to Gundam Battle Operation?
It looks like they are. There's what is purported to be a leak through Japanese PlayStation Network that shows the Double Zeta, but no details yet. If there are any, they'll be on my channel tomorrow morning, and they will be in the game like tonight at about 1 a.m.
How game-breaking is that thing going to be, though?
They're pretty good at balancing these things, but that if it's really kind of tough to deal with, that would explain why the Humberby is so strong. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I guess so.
Cool. And John, how do people get a hold of you?
That John D everywhere.
Excellent. Cool. Well, I'm sick. I have strep throat. My voice is gone. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care.
Okay, cool. Okay, stop recording. Ah, crap, I was going to say something.
It probably wasn't important.
No, it wasn't. Okay, hey, we ran long. So, I think people watching live, we're just going to go ahead and end the stream, because I think some of us have to crash. And think I'm starting to run a fever, so...
Swell.
Oh,
Yes. Cool. Okay. People watching live, we'll see you later. We love you.